Merry Meet, Annie here, and it is Monday on Pagan Perspective. Our topic this week, Kara gave us a topic called Living Your Path. And one of our viewers had sent in a question where they said, Wiccan / pagan / witch / etc. Religion, lifestyle, both, why? For me, inseparable. Religion and lifestyle, one and the same to me. The reason this path, this calling was there for me was I just couldn't be interested in a form of spirituality that separated itself from living of one's life. To me it was all about we as energetic beings, we as children of the gods, and everything else being in that relationship. And a way to celebrate that and honor that and learn from the turning of the wheel and the moons. I can't separate the two. I know your question is why. Why for me is it feels right. It feels that whatever rises up in my spirituality that formalizes itself as religion, as what I do in a religious sense, it's rising from everything's already together, mixed and mingled in life, that spirituality and lifestyle, the physical things we do to exist, are not separate one from the other. So the why for me is the religious aspect of who I am rises up from who I am as a physical and spiritual entity, and those things, that spiritual, physical, energetic me, is who I am, is who I am in relationship to everything else. So religion, to me, rises up from that, the formalized ways in which I choose to celebrate that, to ritualize it, to formalize it in some way. It rises from the fact that, to me, spirituality and the way we live our life is one and the same. Now, the other question we had along the same lines about living your path was someone who tells us they're Wiccan, that they do consistently honor their gods and their patron, but that they wax and wane when it comes to their enthusiasm for what they're doing in the craft, and often a holiday will skip them by. And the way they put it was, I don't always observe the Sabbats and the Esbats, not because I don't want to, because I simply don't remember. And they were asking if we had advice about that. I think that happens really to all of us. Now, it happens when we are learning, because first thing is, we may not be someone who needs Esbats and Sabbats. We may not be someone who needs to celebrate a dark or a full moon. We may need other ways in which we connect at that spiritual level, that energetic level, to our path. So we're learning as we're studying and when we're new, what's us? What are we? Are we creatures of ritual? Do the holidays make sense to us? Does the rhythm of the wheel of the year make sense to us? We're learning even if that matters, or if there's another way we want to celebrate something similar, but in our own way. Now we try things. We read things. We see things online. We do things with other people, even in groups. We try things on for size. I can guarantee you that if it doesn't have personal meaning for you, yeah, there's the times at which you've got time, you feel like being creative, you want to do a ritual, you want to do something to celebrate a holiday. There's other times it will slip by you and it's gone and you didn't even think about the fact that it was coming up. My guess is because it did not hold personal meaning for you. Whether we're celebrating solitary or in a group, it comes down to it's not going to be what someone said it was going to be. In the end, it's what is it to you? What does it feel like to you? What's the meaning you take from it? If celebrating the Esbats and the Sabbats is a part of your life, interwoven, a part of how you relate to the turning of the wheel where you live, to the archetypes of the seasons, what they teach us, to the energy, the literal energy of the land according to the season, you become one with that. It's part of your life. It's living your path. And you actually need those pauses in the year. The pauses at which you separate yourself from what led to that and what's about to come and honor fully. This is what Maybone is, for instance. You look forward to it. You need it in a way. You really embrace it when it comes. Now that doesn't mean because it's Maybone that you may want to do an hour and a half with a ritual. That may not be what you need. You may need 10 minutes quietly, meditating or taking a walk or doing whatever it is that honors that turning of the wheel for you. You may not need Maybone. You may just need to be very aware in some way what the turning and the arriving of autumn is, and be connected to it in some way that matters to you. I think often when we're new on the path, we do what these books tell us to do. We do indeed when we're working with another person, what another person tells us to do. And it could be empty. We do tend to do things a bit by rote until they take on personal meaning for us. If we don't fall into the pattern of doing it, more than likely we're not going to take it on as something permanent. So it's important when you are new to attempt the pattern to determine what that rhythm means for you. When it takes on personal meaning, you won't lose a holiday. You won't lose either of the moons if they matter to you, if you know why you not only want them, but need them. Now, those of us who have been practicing for a long time, we can fall into a similar situation. We grew to embrace holidays, and Esbits and Sabbats are very much a part of who we are. We know why, we look forward to them. And all of a sudden we realized a moon slipped by, or a holiday slipped by, and even if we did something to celebrate them, it was empty. It was empty. Because we can get into not the rhythm of celebrating them, but the routine of celebrating them. And perhaps we didn't focus, or we lost track of, what do they mean to us? To our friend who is asking for advice on that, it appears that you'd like to explore the Esbits and Sabbats and you'd like to celebrate them. My advice is to keep it extremely simple. Don't make it such a long, involved process that it's burdensome for you. It's almost a small taste of, I'll do this to celebrate the moon. I will do this to celebrate. Thinking of autumn arriving and Maybone about to visit us. I'll do this and I will stop and think. Your ritual can be nothing more than to sit quietly and think, what does this turning of the wheel mean for me? Capture your thoughts, journal. Do whatever feels comfortable and easy and simple for you. Our rituals are built on not the outline somebody gives us, but they are built on what does it mean to you. What are you trying to connect to at these celebrations? What are you trying to accomplish at these celebrations? My advice to you is, I'm going to assume if holidays have slipped by you that they didn't hold meaning for you. There really wasn't any reason for your life to stop, take pause, and celebrate them. So my advice would be, think about, step by step as each holiday comes around, as each moon comes around, what does it mean for you? No matter what you are told it means, what is the personal meaning that it holds for you? Living your path is intentional. It is knowing that every moment of your life is part of your experience this time round and your relationship to everything that exists. Your energy blends and flows and moves and is part of the rhythm of everything that is around you. And if it benefits you to stop 8 times a year and twice a month within that flow, to stop and think and be. If you know why, if you know what purpose it serves at each turning of the wheel and at each dark and full point of the month, you will not let it slip by you. It's the same for those of us who practiced a long time. Think back over the last several holidays, the last several moons, and think about what did it mean to you. Were you with that holiday? Were you with that celebration? Or were you performing something by rote? Because you have the freedom, thanks to the question of this person who I assume is relatively new to our practice, you have the freedom then to use his question as a springboard to your own revisiting, re-knowing what you need and what you want from the turnings of the year. I wish you all mirth and reverence. Merry part.